Hi guys, I just wanted to, before this video starts, to apologise for the fact that I haven't got Ashley to answer the questions that you asked for him. I talk about in the video that I'm going to try and get him to do it over the weekend, and unfortunately he just hasn't had a chance to sit down with me yet and do it, and the days have gone past and I really wanted to get this video edited and uploaded and answer all your questions, and he hasn't answered them. But what I will do is in a vlog at some point when he's happy to be on camera and not, he's had a really busy time at work and we had a very busy weekend and stuff, so he just hasn't got round to it. I know I'm just making excuses, aren't I? But he will answer the questions, he will do it on camera, but he just hasn't had a chance to do it yet, so my apologies about that, and he will do it in the future. Now on with the video. Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Today I am going to be answering all your questions that you left me on I've made a quick video last week asking for any questions, and yes, today I'm going to be answering them. Forgive me if I'm squinting. It's very bright out here. I have got the shades, but I hope I'm not looking too dark either, but it was just too hot to film inside today. The heat wave seems to have come back with a vengeance. So let's jump straight into the questions. I know that some of you left questions for Ashley and William. Ashley's not here at the moment, but I'm going to get him to do his answers this evening when he comes home, and William is here and will join me to answer his questions after I've done all the ones for me. So without further ado, let's make a start. So the first one is from Heather Miller, and she says, hi Caroline. Hi Heather. Who was your teenage crush, be it in real life or celebrity? It was Duran Duran. I absolutely loved them. I had posters all over my room. I bought magazines about them. I was obsessed with all their records, and yes, it was records in those days. I had all their records. I knew every word to every song they'd ever written. I was obsessed. Not any individual. Plane goes over as I start filming. God, it sounds like it's gone, I think. Didn't sound great. Don't think I'd want to be flying around with an engine that sounded like that. Anyway, I digress. Yes, my teenage crush was Duran Duran. Heather also asks, who are the 5 dinner guests you would invite, alive or dead, to spend an evening with? This is quite hard. I did think about this a little bit, only in the last 10 minutes since I read through the questions. God, that's far too hot. I don't know why I'm drinking hot coffee on a day like this. Should have made a cold one. Anyway, I digress. 5 dinner guests. I think it would be strong women from history. So people like maybe Queen Elizabeth I. I reckon she'd be interesting. She was a strong, kick-ass woman, wasn't she? Joan of Arc, I reckon, would be interesting. Florence Nightingale, or probably people from history. Yeah, nobody current particularly that I can think of that I'd be really fascinated to meet, other than Jane Fonda. I think Jane Fonda's quite an interesting person. She's had quite an interesting career and has sort of moved from being an actress to a fitness guru to quite a thoughtful campaigning type person, hasn't she? I watched she did a TED talk and I watched that recently and I was really quite impressed by it. But yeah, definitely I don't want any men at my dinner party. I mean, men just talk about men's stuff, don't they? So there's no burning desire to have any men there. I think I'd have 5 strong women from history mostly. Yeah. Karen Sells Clothes asked me, oh god, that bloody blind. This is my electric blinds. If you didn't see the last video that I made when I talked about this, I've got electric blinds out here that, because it's a real sun trap, it's south-facing. The blinds were here when we moved in. And you put them out and they're wind sensitive. So you can see how completely still it is today. There is not a breath of wind at all whatsoever. And for some reason they keep going, just automatically going in. I think it's windy. No idea why. We need to get, do you get blinds serviced? I have no idea. That's an interesting one. It's a job for Ashley, isn't it, to sort that out. Anyway, they've got a remote control, so every time they start going in I have to press the stop button to stop them doing it. So Right, back to questions. Karen Sells Clothes asked me, what did you want to be when you grew up? And can I be greedy with 2 questions? Yes, you can, Karen. What did I want to be when I grew up? I don't remember when I was really little wanting to be anything in particular, although I quite enjoyed doing people's hair, and I had one of those Girls World things that I used to spend ages brushing its hair and plaiting its hair, and I thought I might like to be a hairdresser, but that was very fleeting. When I was a bit older, so maybe my late teens, there were several things I wanted to do. I wanted to work in an airport. I quite fancied being a journalist, and I also wanted to be a recruitment consultant. I have no idea why I wanted to do any of that. Well, journalist because I quite like writing. I was good at English at school. I liked writing. I think my outlet for writing eventually became my blog. But yeah, I fancied being a journalist. I guess that was the reason for that. I think I wanted to work in an airport because airports, when you go to an airport, you're going somewhere and it's exciting generally, isn't it? Especially when you're a kid. And so I think that was sort of what made me want to do that. And as for being a recruitment consultant, I don't know where that came from, but that was something I really wanted to do. And I eventually went on to do that. That's another story. Perhaps I'll do a story about a story time video about my job as a recruitment consultant, or my career history or something. Yeah, maybe I'll do that one day. But yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to be when I was younger. If you could have Karen also asked me, if you could have a celebrity husband, can be a character in TV or film, who would it be? I honestly don't know, because if you're picking someone purely on looks, Brad Pitt, I think. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Brad Pitt. Yeah, although I'm not sure he would be the best husband material, because he left Jennifer, didn't he, and went off with Angelina, who I think was probably a bit of a handful. So yeah, based purely on looks, Brad Pitt. It's very difficult to really think of anyone else who I don't think would really annoy me. I think lots of people who I think are really funny. Ian Hislop on It's Not the 9 o'clock. Have I Got News for You? His sense of humour makes me, he's so dry, he makes me laugh my head off, but I think he'd probably be really annoying. So we could have his sense of humour, Brad Pitt's looks. I don't want someone too clever, but I don't want someone stupid either. I want someone who's got a good knowledge of the world around them and can hold a decent debate, good conversation. So don't know, maybe that guy off BBC Radio 2 at lunchtime. What's he bloody called? Not Paxman. He does all the election broadcasts on TV. I always think has quite a nice, well-balanced view of the world, and he's quite clever, isn't he? What's his name? It will come to me. I'll stick it up there somewhere. God, honestly, menopause brain. The next question is from Erin Scorgie. Hi, Erin. She's got a question for William and one for Ashley. And for me, Caroline, did you have a job before eBay reselling? Yes, I did. My last job that I had was working part-time in a school. I worked for the governors, the Board of Governors, and I used to go and take minutes of the meetings, and I mostly worked from home, but sort of secretarial work effectively, and I did that in 2 different schools over a period from when William started at school until I gave up 3 years ago. So yeah, that was my last job beforehand. My previous career had mostly been sort of secretarial PA work with a bit of other stuff thrown. If so, what did you do, and was it what you set out to do when you left school? So I've sort of answered that. Not particularly what I set out to do when I left school, but I wonder how many people, when they actually leave school at 16 or 18 or whatever it is these days, actually have any clue what they want to do, or indeed if what they want to do is what they end up doing. I don't know. I think you grow up so much between sort of 16 and 25 or 30 even, that it's difficult to it's difficult, isn't it, to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Anyway, moving on. Kerry Lock. Hi Kerry. How do you feel about putting pineapple on pizza? Fine by me. I like pineapple. Pineapple on gammon, pineapple on pizza, it all works for me. Pineapple is good. Claire Riley has a question for William, which is a brilliant question. I'm looking forward to him coming to answer this one. Well, come here a minute. Got some questions for you. So your first question is from Claire Riley, and it is, what is the most endearing thing about your mum and what is the most annoying thing about your mum?
Annoying thing is the fact she does YouTube. I mean, very frustrating. No, I'm joking. That's a really difficult question to answer without a lot of forethought.
Come on, I'm putting you on the spot. What's the nicest thing about me? What's the favorite thing about me? Have you got one?
You paid off some parking tickets for me. That was very nice.
I didn't pay them off.
No, to be fair,
I didn't. I did not pay them off. I helped him sort it out, but he's paying it.
That was very helpful, and I was very grateful for that. And you always help me out when I'm in a bad situation.
Oh, that's what mums are for, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the most annoying thing about me then?
I don't want to say something stereotypical like making me tidy my room, but making me tidy my room.
Really? Is that the worst thing you can think of about me?
Worst thing I can say on camera.
We got another question from Erin for you, which is, William, what are your plans for the future? Career, education, driving, house, etc.
Well, right. So, driving, I already have a car. I drive a Chevrolet Spark. I've learnt to drive and stuff like last year. So we just renewed the insurance for that. Education, hopefully Bath University next year to do physics, although I've applied to do chemistry, but I've changed my mind, so I don't know what's going to happen. Quite possibly I won't get into Bath, but you know, university to do physics is sort of the plan at the moment. Then, what was the other one? A house.
House.
That's far in the future. I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, hot tub, cinema, just the usual stuff that you need in a house.
Yeah, okay. Because that's perfectly reasonable. Career. Any idea what you want to do for a career?
I want lots of money. That is about as far as I've thought.
Something that pays well then?
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
Maybe investment banking.
Just looking to see what other... No, I think that's all your questions. Oh. Yes, that's it.
Alright, cool.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Would you like a cup of tea?
I've just got one, thanks.
Alright, cool.
So, that was William's answer. That was very nice for you to come and answer those on camera, thank you. So, where was I up to? Pineapple on pizza. William's question. Fatima Salem, apologies if I haven't pronounced that correctly, says, hi Caroline, what do you think about drop shipping on eBay? For those who don't know, drop shipping is when you sell something essentially you haven't got. You advertise something for sale, you sell it, and you then order it from another place to be delivered direct to your customer. It's not something that I would do. I'm too much of a control freak and there are too many issues. I like to have what I'm selling in my hand available to send out, so it wouldn't be something that I would do personally, but I know that a lot of people make very successful businesses out of it, so entirely up to the individual. Andrew Lucas said to me, hello Caroline, just wondering where the bag you used on holiday in Greece was purchased. That was from Julie actually, that's the username. Hi Julie. The baskety bag, the big square one, was actually a free gift from the resort we stayed at last year, the Sunny Resort, which is the one we go to a lot, but they give them away if you stay in a particular type of room in that resort. And I didn't have one in the room I was staying, but I saw people walking around the resort with them, and I asked at reception where you could buy them from, because I really wanted one. It was a really nice big size bag. I'll insert a photo of it here. And they very kindly sent one to my room for me, which was very nice. So that was the bag I was using. Dawn Evans says, which celebrity would you like to meet and why? I haven't really got any burning desire to meet any celebrities, I don't think. No, I honestly can say that there's not anybody jumps out at all that I'd like to meet in person. If I think of one, I will let you know. Diego Ferrenbach asks, again, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that, I would love to know a little bit more about your last holiday. It sounded amazing. Which hotel was it again? It was the Ecos Olivia. Since I did this in Halkidiki in Greece, since I did this Q&A thing, I've put up a vlog about it, so I will link it up there, or up there, left hand right corner up there. I will link it up there for you to see a whole vlog of my last holiday, which was very enjoyable. Cleopatra says, I've watched you for a long time now. Thank you very much, I do appreciate that. What are you using on your hair as it looks so good lately? Don't feel like it looks great today. It feels very floppy. I think it's because I'm so hot. So I've tried lots and lots of shampoos and conditioners over the years, and I don't think one is any different from another. I think effectively you're washing it out of your hair anyway, unless you're using a leave-in conditioner. So shampoo, I don't feel that anything makes an awful lot of difference. I'm currently using an Aussie one, but I'm certainly not brand you know, loyal with shampoo. And the conditioner that I'm currently using is a £1 one from Primark, which is coconut and cactus flower, which smells lovely. But the products I'm using to afterwards, the styling products, I'm using a KMS product. I'm going to link it down in the description box, so I can't remember the name, which is quite expensive. It was recommended to me on a Facebook group for volumizing, and it's really good. It's like a spray-in detangler and volumizer, which I really like. I would definitely buy it again. It's worth the money. And I'm also using a Toni and Guy, it used to be called Volume Plumping Whip, and it was in a tub. Again, I'll link it below, but it's now in a pump bottle. What's this, Carla? Bottle where you pump it, which is actually a better way of getting it out. And it's changed its name, but it's essentially the same product. I'll link it all below, but I'm finding that I'm getting a lot more volume in my hairs. Yeah, I have been quite pleased with how my hair's looking recently, so that's what I'm using. Bronwyn Payne asks, are you as confident in real life as you are in these videos? Yes, I probably am, in all honesty. Yeah, I am quite a confident person. I haven't always been. I would say confidence is something that comes more with age and experience. I've always been quite assertive. If my brother's watching this, he'll be shrieking, aggressive, not assertive, on the computer on the screen. But I like to call it assertive. But yeah, I would say I am quite confident. But I think as you get older, you do become more confident. Can you share your eBay username? Yes, it's Will, WILL0302. I love watching what you sell. What are your favourite 5 foods? I've just started Slimming World this week, so what a time to be thinking about food. But crisps, I blimmin' love crisps. I know they're bad for me, but oh, is there anything nicer than crisps? Just love them. Ready salted is fine, don't particularly want flavoured ones. Cheese would be second. Crusty white bread. It's a disaster, isn't it? I wish I could say, oh, apples, kale, chia seeds. It's just not true. So crisps, cheese, bread. What else do I like? Jacket potatoes. Or mashed potato maybe. Comfort food. Lovely. And I can't think of a 5th, but those sorts of things. Anything that's bad for me, basically. I'm not a sweet tooth person at all. Anything sweet I can really take or leave. I don't really have a sweet tooth. But yeah, and savoury snacks, I'll be all over them. All over them. So thank you for those questions, Bronwyn. Oh, and Bronwyn's asked another one. As an expert in clothes purchasing, why thank you, do you have any experience of buying clothes for women of a certain age in Primark? I don't buy loads in Primark, mostly because they don't really go up to my size, although hopefully I'll be a bit smaller. There'll be less of me soon. I did buy some stripy trousers recently, which I loved. Primark, you're never going to get brilliant quality, are you? I think you have to choose carefully. The high fashion stuff, slogan t-shirts and all that stuff that they do, and all the little crop tops and stuff is not generally for me. But yeah, I think there are pieces for people of our age in Primark for sure. Just you need to shop a little bit more carefully, and as long as you're not expecting amazing quality, then yeah, absolutely, definitely. As you know, Primark is one of my favourite places to shop. Buccaneer Beth says, lovely to see you back from your holiday, Caroline. Thank you. I'd love some advice about the Sani Resort. Which hotel on the complex would you recommend? We want a relaxing space with very few little ones around. I know this won't be of interest to everyone, so I'll keep it brief, but if you want to message me, Beth, through my Facebook page, the details are below if I can help you with anything else. But basically there's 5 hotels in the complex. The only one that has fewer children is June's. I think they don't let children under 12 in there. It was completely adults only last year when it opened, but it's now, as I say, over 12s. But we went there just for a visit for a day when we were in Halkidiki the other week, and there certainly weren't any children around at all that I saw, so June's would probably be the one. All the others have a lot of children, particularly at this time of year. They are Porto, where we stayed for many years. One of the reasons we stayed there was because the children facilities were so good, because when we first started going there, William was about 5 or 6. But yeah, they are all, if you pick the right time of year, of course. If you go sort of mid-September onwards, or early in the year when it's not school holidays, there are obviously going to be fewer kids. But if you want any more info, feel free to message me. Frida Baxter says, hi Caroline, where do you see yourself in 10 years as regards to reselling? I know it's a while off, but do you think that you would like to retire early? I think that reselling is brilliant in that it's one of those things that you can scale up or down as you need and want at any given time. The word retirement at the moment fills me with horror. I can't think I want to retire, and Ashley is much the same. We talked about it recently, actually. He's 4 years older than me, so I'm coming up 50. He's 54 this year. So yeah, I can't see myself retiring at all. It depends on your health as well, of course, doesn't it? So fingers crossed I'll keep going for as long as I can, because I just love what I do. So it doesn't feel like work when it's like that, does it? Annette says, I was watching some of your older video and there was one about 50 things you wanted to do before you were 50. How did you get on with that? It's quite an interesting one, that. It was when I was writing my blog. Do you remember, I don't know if anybody remembers, about 10 years ago on the internet there was a big thing called 101 lists, and it was 101 things that you wanted to accomplish in 1001 days, so 3 years and a bit or something. And everybody was doing them, and I did one of those, and I started it and was all enthusiastic, as people are with these things, and it went off the boil a bit, and I changed it into a 50 things I wanted to do before 50, and it was 3 years before my 50th birthday, so it was back in 2014 or 15 I started it. I'm going to do a separate video talking about it and talking about how successful I was. It was something that I did a bit of and came back to, and it hasn't been a complete success, I think it's fair to say, Annette. I will do a video about it because it would be interesting to reflect back on it, so thank you for that question. Pamela asked me, Pamela's watched me for a long time, so hi Pamela, hope you're well and the family. Travel plans, what do you have on your upcoming travel list? Greece is usually on your list at least once a year, but how about somewhere you've not visited before? Well, I've already been to 2 places this year I've not visited before. Las Vegas, which was absolutely amazing. I will link the video here if I remember to do so. And Lisbon in Portugal, which we also really enjoyed. I'd like to go back there one day. I don't feel we saw as much of it as we would like to have done. So we've been to Greece, we've just been to Greece, and in the beginning of September we're going back to Halkidiki again, just myself and Ashley this time. The last time was a big family holiday. Sorry, ran out of breath in that sentence. Need to breathe, must remember to breathe. Nothing planned for the rest of this year, however, might have a big trip coming up next year. I'm not going to say too much about that, but it's a trip that's been on my bucket list for a long time, and it involves two things that I've always said I wanted to do. So that's something I'm going to be looking into once we've got Will settled in university. That might be coming up, so I don't want to talk about that at the moment, but exciting times. Fiona Arnell or Amil? Arnell, I think. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. And the laptop screen is quite dark out here. I think it's Arnell. Sorry, Fiona. Caroline, what plans do you have for your 50th? On my actual birthday, my 50th is coming up. It's the 29th of August. On my actual birthday, nothing. This month really is all about Will getting his exam results and finding out where he's going, and it sort of feels like everything's a little bit on hold until that's all sorted. So I haven't actually got any plans for my birthday at all. Ashley and I are going away on the 3rd of September, as I've just said, so that will be a nice birthday trip type of thing. We can celebrate my birthday while we're there. I expect we'll do something on the day, and as I said, this big holiday that will sort of be in my 50th year, so you know, that will be something. But on my actual birthday, nothing at all. Fiona also asked, number 2, if you had more children, how many would you have had? As few as possible. I only ever wanted one. I only ever had one. I've never desired any more. Lots of children wouldn't be a thing for me. What would you call them? Fiona also asked. If William had been a girl, he was going to be called Anastasia or Camilla. Anna for short.
Thank God I'm not.
Did you hear that? He said, thank God I'm not. So there you go. And Fiona also asked, if you didn't do eBay, sorry I've just lost that, if you didn't do eBay, what career would you love to do and why? I think I've done most of what I wanted to do. I think the only thing that I never really got to do was be a journalist, which I thought about being, which I mentioned earlier in this video. Yeah, so that would probably be an alternative that I would think about. But I am very happy, obviously, doing eBay and working for myself. I think I'm pretty much unemployable by anybody else these days. I wouldn't want to go back to having a boss. Ali McLean says, hi Ali. Ali McLean says, I love watching your beauty vlogs, but who do you enjoy watching? Beauty wise, I watch a lot of the big YouTubers. I watch Tati, Glam Life Guru in America. I watch Emily Noel 83, who I think is absolutely lovely, such a genuine person. I watch Nisha, Sugar Puff and Fluff. I watch Angie Hot and Flashy, who's a good one for older people. Mrs. Ginger's Beauty, I dip in and out of hers. Can't think of any others off the top of my head, but that's sort of the main ones that I probably watch. Miss Budget Beauty, who does less beauty stuff these days, but I do love her videos. Ringer Rosie Simpson, who is Geraldine, I only found that out yesterday, says, do you listen to music or watch YouTube while listing? No, not really. If I'm editing photographs, I will watch some YouTube, but I'm not really a big one for listening to music other than in the car. I love my music in the car, but only when I'm editing photos. I tend to make mistakes if I have YouTube on while I'm listing, so I tend not to. Also, have you a set timetable where you list from a certain time and then photograph and delivery days? I post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and in between if people ask for something urgent. But I don't have really a set timetable. I try and get my listing done in the morning as much as possible, and other stuff sort of in the afternoons, but not a set timetable specifically other than that. JJ asks, what have been your worst and best moments on eBay? I can't think of a particular best or worst moment, but having a really good sale is always a good, you know, when you make a good profit or you sell something that you've had listed for ages or anything like that, that's always a really good moment. And worst moments are when you have really difficult customers and you've bent over backwards to deal with them and they're still troublesome, or people that you know are trying to scam you, and I've had one recently. Which it just leaves a bit of a nasty taste in your mouth. So I don't think I've had any, and I tend to roll with the punches more these days. The longer you do it, the less stuff affects you and you see it more as a business, and it doesn't really get, just occasionally one will really get to you, but yeah, those are sort of the best, the highs and lows really. Derek Goldsmith says, we've been on eBay for over a year but only 3 followers. Any tips? How do you do it? And do you think is the YouTube channel helping? Okay, so I'm not sure that followers on your eBay account make a lot of difference. Well, I'm 100% certain that they don't. I honestly don't know, but it's several hundred followers, but it's purely from doing YouTube, so it's more likely other resellers having a nosy at what I'm selling and what prices I'm getting and that sort of thing, I would think, in the main. So I wouldn't get hung up on the amount of followers you've got on eBay at all. So I think if you do good photographs, nice title, good keywords, clear photographs, plenty of fill in your item specifics, the price reasonably, your sales will come. So that would be my tips for that. Chica Bay says, Caroline, if you could have any actor to portray you in a film, who would you choose? I would choose me. I'd like to play myself in a film. I quite fancy doing that. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? I've just seen that Chica Bear's also asked a question for William, who has now gone out, which is, would you consider working abroad? I'm going to answer on his behalf. I know that he would. It's something that he has talked about a little bit before, at some point in the future. So yes, I think it's certainly something that he would think about. And the final question was from Active YT, which says, how old are you and are you from England? I am from England, yes, and I am 50 this month. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for leaving all the questions. I've really enjoyed answering them all, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.